Think that that's the strategy going forward? Do you think that's going to work?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that anything that President Trump does, he's going to do from a position of strength, certainly as he sees it, and he, as well he should, because the United States does come into this from an absolute and unequivocal position of power and strength in domination over North Korea, which is one of the reasons why I also say that, kind of like James said there a second ago, we have all the cards here, and we don't have to have an outcome that the CVID, which everybody talks about. We should absolutely go for that. But the fact of the matter is that Trump can keep the Americas safe no matter what happens with this because of our overwhelming military power.
Well, but James, I mean, remember what got us here beginning back in 2017 when Donald Trump first took office, and that was these threats, missile tests, and of course no one was more nervous than Japan at the time. But now that we're here, U.S. intelligence officials still believe that Kim has maybe 30 to 60 nuclear weapons, and there could be possibly 100 different centers in North Korea that are developing things like chemical weapons, biological weapons, things like that. We don't know. If we don't know, how do we demand that he end those programs?
Right. Well, look, here's the thing. They can't eat those things, and that's a big problem when you're trying to feed the Korean people. And the United States, with its strategy of maximum pressure, nuclear deterrence, missile defense, conventional deterrence, sanctioning, they really prevent them from being a real military threat. I mean, Kim can't actually have a war. It's the one thing that gets rid of his regime. So he would, if he wants to engage with the U.S.,
sure,
he's got to agree to this process, and this process will include, it would have to include very, very intrusive inspections. The Senate would insist on that in a treaty.
They're also going to be insisting, Dan, and we've already heard Kim Jong-un talk about this, and this is what nearly derailed the entire summit. They don't want to be Libya. He doesn't want to be Muammar Gaddafi. And when Ambassador Bolton used that strong language about the Libya model, that nearly derailed this entire thing. They're going to demand likely that there's going to be troop drawdowns in South Korea. There's going to be troop drawdowns from the U.S., possibly in Japan. If those questions are asked by the North Koreans, what's our answer?
Well, I think President Trump is going to say, hey, look, here's what is my bottom line. And then the whole thing is the art of the negotiation. And how far is President Trump willing to go to get the complete and verifiable negotiations? Because the fact is that's asking an incredible amount from North Korea. And we certainly aren't going to get that by just offering some sanctions relief. So the real big question is just how far is President Trump willing to go on that?
Right.
And my position is that if he actually can get the complete CVID, that might not be a bad chip to use for us.
Yeah, if they're open to inspections, which they're probably, well, they're going to have to be, I guess. James and Dan, thank you so much for being here so early this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to be leaning on both of you over the next 48 hours.